we freak out. We have a lot of fear arising. And the fear arises because we misinterpret emptiness to mean this. So we didn't understand the Madhyamika view. If we understand the Madhyamika view and we meditate on emptiness, instead of fear, you have joy arising. And as I mentioned, I think earlier, these teachings of the Perfection of Wisdom Sutras by the Buddha, Nagarjuna in the 2nd century wrote a classic text describing his understanding of emptiness from these teachings, and that text from Nagarjuna, that is the basis of the Madhyamika view. So he's considered to be the founder of the Madhyamika philosophical system, Nagarjuna in the 2nd century. Now, there is a number of very intelligent modern-day philosophers who read this book, this text from Nagarjuna, and they say, Nagarjuna, you're a nihilist. What you're saying is nothing exists. So very intelligent modern-day philosophers are saying he's a nihilist. So maybe it'd be helpful for us to have a bit of a look at these other systems. Okay, any questions?
There are two extremes, and
sure.
Some of different approaches see the middle way in
different ways, correct.
Different ways. But it's dualistic because there is existence and no existence, and you find some place to locate us.
But the middle way, in fact, this is duality. The middle way is beyond those two extremes.
So it should be combination and not one point is a continuum between. If we talk about non-duality...
but only Madhyamikas talk about that. The other philosophical systems say duality exists. Because independent existence is another word for duality. So for them, things are dualistic. They are independent, because if they weren't, they wouldn't exist. So it's only the Madhyamikas who accept that. The Chittamatrans, they use the word non-duality, but for them, non-duality doesn't mean not independent. Non-duality means for them no external world. No external world. Yeah? So we have to be careful when we hear the word non-duality. For Madhyamika, it means no independent existence. For Chittamatra, it doesn't mean that. It just means that there's no external world. Non-dual meanings the world is internal to the mind.
I feel a little bit frustration. Maybe I have a gap. I really don't know how it comes to me. Like, I feel everything existing. I'm okay with this. Why should I change this? Suddenly, everything.
So these flowers exist independent of you?
Yes.
Okay, and we briefly touched on this the other day, and we're going to look at it in more detail on day 9. But if we look at these flowers and we have a pleasant experience, they're beautiful. The beauty's there, yeah? Is it? It is?
Okay, I get this.
Well, that's the whole point. That's the whole point. The whole point is, because we accept that, we end up with attachment to pleasant things, aversion to unpleasant things, and that's where all the suffering comes from. That's the whole point. That's why accepting independent existence is the root of all of our mental afflictions and suffering. That is the point. Of course, intellectually, we may understand or accept beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You know, we've heard that. Maybe we accept that. That is the Madhyamika view. But experientially, that's not how we see the flowers. We don't experientially see beauty in the eye of the beholder. If we did, we would never have any attachment for any pleasant experiences. We'd just simply enjoy them, because there's no beauty there to grab. So what we want to do is bring that intellectual understanding of beauty in the eye of the beholder into experience through meditation, and that's the emptiness practice, the Vipassana practice. If we can do that, mental afflictions and suffering, bye-bye.
I think the frustration is because it feels so far away.
Yes.
It's not far away.
And now in Shamatha, until I get to
No, it's not far away. We can, right now, sit down, have a meditation and have a little taste of emptiness that can have a very strong impact on our mind and even affect us outside the meditation for a while. That's possible right now. So it's not like, light years away before some positive change in our life happens. No, it can happen right now. But if we want that to be stable and long-lasting, then we need to put more effort. But we can have a little taste of this now, and it can have a very strong positive impact on our life.
Can you explain the theory based on the flowers as you did? Explain all these theories based on flowers.
We're going to do that on day 9. Oh, you mean all the different schools?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry, yeah. So for Vaibhashika Sautrantika, there is beauty there. No problem. The reason we have craving and attachment is we grasp onto self. The reason we have craving and attachment for pleasant things is because we're grasping onto self. We have an overinflated false sense of me. That's why we have it. But there's beauty there. And those flowers exist independent, external of me. Shamatha says there's beauty there. But those flowers are not material. They look like they're material, physical, but they're actually internal to my mind. And again, it's my grasping onto this self that is causing my craving and attachment to those flowers. So if I get rid of that, I'll get rid of the craving and attachment to the flowers. Madhyamika says there is physical material flowers there. They're external, but dependent. They're not independent. And the reason I have craving and attachment is because I see them as independent. So the lower schools are saying the craving and attachment comes from a false sense of me, and the flowers are independent. The beauty's there. Madhyamika says craving and attachment comes from believing those flowers are independent, and there's no beauty there.
Is it oversimplifying things if I teach a kid that this mattress is non-existent by itself? It's empty of self-existence because somebody made it, somebody
Exactly.
made effort.
Exactly. Exactly. This is how we approach it. And that's what we're going to do on day 9 as well. We're going to approach it this way, is that the flip side of emptiness is dependency. So this is a good way you can even teach young children emptiness, is through dependency. Exactly this way, that it's coming from all these different things, and this is a very good thing to do, because then kids get to understand that there's a whole network of interdependency.
And how to go beyond, how to continue the philosophy without being overwhelmed with the...
For children,
yeah.
well, I'd just stay there with the dependency. And therefore, you can bring that into their behaviour in terms of actions and dependency and various factors. And the more you can do that, the more they'll understand how various negative behaviours is opposite to this dependency. Exactly, yeah. So dependency is the way in. And I think now in our modern society, we're really starting to understand this idea of interdependency, with all the climate change and everything. There's so much stuff that we're aware of now that we can really start to appreciate this.
So how come it's connected to the craving? Like if I understand that the flower is in the
The flower is dependent,
yes.
right?
I don't understand about the craving.
You don't understand that if we understand there's no independent flower, why we wouldn't have craving? Is that the question?
Yes, something again.
So the question is, the question, if we understand the idea of emptiness
Yes,
or realise it, why would that stop craving? Is that the question?
yes.
Because there's no beauty there. Like the example, is there beauty there?
It's beauty in my eyes. I can see.
So why are you getting attached to that then if the beauty's in your eyes? There's no beauty to be attached to there. The beauty's in your experience. It's not there. Attachment's for this object. So,
The experience comes from there.
right, and we misinterpret the beautiful experience meaning that the beauty's there. That's the problem. We have an experience of beauty, exactly, but then we think, oh, it's coming from there.
Where did you get it? How do you have this sense of beauty? No, seriously.
How what?
Where do you think you have sense of beauty if not from the flowers?
Well, if the beauty's there, it means everyone who looked there would have to see it as beautiful.
No, not necessarily.
No? The beauty's there.
Beauty is there, right?
Oh, so we have defective eyes if we don't see it as beautiful.
I don't.
Why wouldn't we see it as beautiful if the beauty's there?
I don't know. I don't want to go. No, it's a long. It
Sure.
not interest all people.
Sure.
But if one day I'll have
Sure,
a chance
sure,
to
sure.
talk to you, but
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, last question, then we need to wrap up, I think.
I think both a lot of tradition assert that reality cannot be grasped, let alone be expressed by words.
Correct.
Like-
Same as Madhyamika.
Okay, so Madhyamika has also said that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. You can't know reality with the conceptual mind.
Because it seems like, and now I understand that I misunderstood, that it does try to describe.
It tries to give us a framework of understanding that we can use in practice to come to realize reality directly, which is non-conceptual, non-dualistic. Because unless we have some framework, I mean, what are we going to do?
Yeah, we can have differential understanding.
Well,
Understanding, but not realization.
okay.
Yeah, so exactly.
No,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let's finish there. A lot of these things, of course, particularly with the Madhyamika, we're going to be looking at in more detail later. So that's a little bit of a taster. So let's now go to the Shavasana meditation just to finish the evening.